Dr. Daniel Boozer is one of the most experienced international implant surgeons with 35 years of surgical experience. He widely lectures at national and international conferences and CE courses to share his knowledge. He has served as professor of oral surgery at the University of Bern, Switzerland, and as president of various academic associations. He has received several scientific awards, and with his team, he has authored and co-authored more than 400 publications, book chapters on translational research in the field of implant dentistry.
I want to discuss a big problem, and it was addressed by Thorsten very nicely here. We see a pandemic of peri-implantitis in the field. When you listen to the systematic reviews, or when you EFP or AAP are doing an analysis of this, and of course we know peri-implantitis, this is not a foreign body reaction. I never believed that. I have known Karl Donat very well, but he was a non-clinician. He just once expressed an opinion, and that was it. I believe this has clear reasons, and you see the differences. All these risk factors we know, and the micro-rough surface is one of them. An exposed implant surface. It was addressed by Thorsten very nicely, that in Sweden now they see all of a sudden a higher incidence or the prevalence of peri-implantitis. When you look at these, let's say, two recent systematic reviews published here, one was Alberto Monche. I give you a higher magnification of the conclusions. Then it seems that the prevalence is between about 10 to 20%. And that's by far too much. It's a time-dependent, and of course, depending on multiple risk factors you can have. So this is actually what I think we have to accept realistically, but I think we have to fight it, because we have to stop this. And we have different means to do so. When you look at Dirk's paper comparing three leading implant systems, one is a hybrid design system, and the other ones are two non-hybrid design systems. The tissue-level implant did always the best. I mean, we cannot ignore the data. It's a Swedish, not a Swiss paper, Swedish paper. So I always said I loved when I saw this paper in Journal of Dental Research. Recently, this paper you have to look at. This is from Belgium, group of the Hugo de Bruyne. Almost 1,500 implants, 10 years follow-up. And actually, this is the opposite what we heard from Thorsten, you see, because they said when there was an early bone loss of more than 0.5 millimeter exposing this micro-rough surface of that implant, an AstraTeco it was, you see, they have seen more than 5-fold higher prevalence of peri-implantitis. Very interesting paper to read. So this is a paper that should be cited often. Yes. That means, you see, when you get an exposed micro-rough surface, that's not really good. So the paper from our group was tissue-level implants, SLA surface, always with the SLA inside the bone, you see. We had a failure rate of 1.2% at 10 years and a prevalence of peri-implantitis of 1.8%. That's together 3% problems. So the success rate, 97%. That's not so bad, you see. And I think for us, that is our routine. We see, of course, sometimes infections, but very, very infrequent. So what are the solutions? The solutions are twofold, you see. I think we have to improve our education of clinicians, and we have to work on the implant design. These are the two areas where we can interact, you see. We have to reduce the prevalence, and we need a paradigm shift in the markets by using more and more hybrid design implants.